Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Evidence, and in today's video I am going to show you how to use Docker for data science project. So before you can use Docker for data science project, obviously you have to install it first. In the previous video I showed you how to install Docker on Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. And before you can install Docker on Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro, first you have to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. And in the previous video, I showed you how to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I'm going to link those videos up and go ahead and watch them if you don't have Docker on your computer already. And if you're on Mac, you can just click on this link to install Docker on your Mac computer, depending on what type of chip you have. Alright, so first make sure you have Docker, because if you don't have Docker, obviously you can't do this. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna show you how to use Docker for a data science project. Before we begin, we are just gonna clone a repo. I've made this very simple for you by providing you with a template. This template will just make it easier to get started and just play around with data science and Docker. So this is the link to the template, and once you get here, we are just going to clone this template. You click on this link right here that says code, and then you click on copy. You can do HTTPS, SSH, or GitHub CLI, depending on what you have. I don't have GitHub SSH set up yet. Actually, in the next video, I am going to be showing you how to set up SSH for your GitHub or for your Git bucket, but I don't have it set up yet. So since I don't have SSH set up yet, I'm going to use HTTPS. So let's go ahead and copy this, and let's go ahead and open a command line. So I went ahead and created a folder just for this tutorial so that I won't put this in the wrong place. So once you are here, you can just right click. Actually, you have to do git clone, right click, and just like that, we just cloned this repo. Now let's go ahead and do dir or ls, depending on your operating system. And as you can see here, we have a folder called Docker tutorial. And I'm gonna do cd. I'm gonna type in D and click the tab key on my keyboard, and it's autocomplete. I'm gonna click enter, and I'm gonna click do dir, and as you can see, these are all the files inside this folder. These files are these files right here. So that's the Docker template that I created just for this project. And of course, you can read about this too. So I created a blog here, evidencen.com/Docker for data science, that kind of gives you the same instructions of how to use Docker for data science project. And of course, how you use Docker for data science project is gonna vary a little bit, but I just wanted to give you an example of how you could use it, and that's why I created a template to begin with to make your life a lot easier just to start. So after you get the template repo, we are going to build a Docker image using Docker Compose. Let's go back to the command line and make sure you are in this folder. So as you can see in this folder, we have dockercompose.yml. You need this to build your Docker image. All right, so make sure you are in the folder, on the folder level that has your license, your dockercompose.yml, your readme and everything. And from here, you do Docker compose build. And here it's gonna say it's building web. And while this is running, I can probably give you a quick rundown of stuff. And as you can see right here, well, very soon I'm gonna open this file on VS Code so we can inspect it a little bit. But the gist of it is that you won't have to do this Docker Compose build command again unless you update your requirements.txt file. So your requirements.txt file has all the requirements you need to run your web app or to run your data science application. If you update this, then you need to do Docker Compose build again. And this Docker Compose build is going to build an image that includes the new requirements. If you add new requirements to this, but you don't do Docker Compose build again, then when you run things using the newly added items and newly added libraries in requirements.txt, your code may not work properly because the Docker image that Docker has doesn't have those libraries. So basically, when you add stuff to requirements.txt, do Docker Compose build again. So let's go back here and let's see. It is still working. It's still installing the things that is needed. And the first time you do this, it's going to take a while. But then if you just, let's say, add 1 or 2 libraries, the second time you do this, it's going to be much faster. So now that we have built our Docker image, the next step is to run our web applications. So in this situation, that is like, so we are going to do Docker Compose up. All right. So once you do Docker Compose up, it is going to tell you the URL of where your app is running and to tell you more. And the neat thing about what I use to build this web app is that whenever I make a change to the file and I click Control Save, this automatically restarts and automatically updates. But let's go to this link first and see what our app looks like. So I have been having problem connecting to this port, but I still know how to get to the app. So for me, if I just go to localhost, I should be able to connect to the app. And there it is. So when I clicked on this, I got an error because this didn't open in the right port necessarily. But for me, I know that this app is located in localhost. So your Docker environment is gonna give you a link of where you have your app. If that doesn't work, just try your localhost. And voila, this is the app. Okay, so this is basically a prediction data science application. All right, this is an API. This is actually a data science API. And in a nutshell, this is it. This is how you would run a data science project from Docker. But how is this actually working? Well, you need to stick around. But before we do that, let's go ahead and test this API and just make sure it works. So we're gonna click on this, and here I'm gonna leave the default values, and I'm just gonna do try it out and then execute. And I'm using a fast API here. All right. In a different video, I am going to show you how to build an app using fast API, how to build something like this using fast API. But for now, let's just continue with the Docker education. And just like that, I got a prediction for from our data science app. Here, let me go ahead and change this to 2025 and see if we get a different prediction. So our original prediction is 3.42 to be the price of gas. And then if I click execute, and now the price of gas is predicted to be 3.75 4 years into the future. And of course, we can test the other one too. And if you go back here to your Docker console, it tells you that it received a request and it received a post request in the gas predict endpoint, and it returned successfully. If like your app is not working correctly, this will give you a different error code, but 200 is a success error code. And now let's go ahead and do the Airbnb predict. And let's just use the default for now. And our Airbnb predicted price is 161. And let's change this to a different one. And if you look here, these are the room type options. So let's change it to private room. And let's click execute. Remember, we originally had 161. I think the price is probably gonna be similar or the same, but let's go ahead and do execute. Oh, and the price is $86. All right, so we know that this application, this data science application works. And if we go back to our Docker file here, you can see that our changes was the Airbnb predict request was successfully processed. All right, so that's it on how to, let's say, launch a data science app from Docker. But now I am going to open this data science app in VS Code, and I'm going to show you what's going on behind the scenes. All right, so this is the same thing, but in VS Code. And to find out how I'm able to run that app and that data science app in Docker, we'll first look at this level, this directory level of stuff, and then we'll go into the project. All right. So let's go to the README, which is just a README, nothing much, license, and then Docker Compose. So this is the Docker Compose.yml file, and this is semi-straightforward. So here you define the Python version you're using, and in this case I'm using Python 3.7, and then you describe the services that this Docker app is gonna run. So here you are running a web service, and this is where the build for this web is located. So basically, if you do /project, so if you go under /project, you will see something that says a Docker file. Okay, so basically you are telling this Docker compose.yml file the location of your Docker file as well as the location of your requirements.txt. And then this is the command to run. And the command to run in this case is uvcon app.main. And then we want you to run app. So under app.main, I want you to run app. So if we go under app and go to API main.api, if you go under app and go to under API and then go to main.py, you will see that this is how you run the app. So uvcon.run app. All right. So uvcon.run is the command to run this fast API app. So that's basically the same thing. We're saying command is uvcon. We're saying app.main app. And then reload basically means whenever we save something here, whenever we make changes and save it here, that we want you to automatically reload this web app. Automatically reload this web app and show us the changes. And then workers is equal to 1. That's the number of processors, and then you tell it the host. So I just put this generic host here, and if you look properly here, when it first launched, right, it's using the host and the ports that are specified. So this is the host and the port. All right, okay. And then it tells you, then you have to tell it the volume. So I believe volume means basically means the location of your application. So as you can see, I said dot project semicolon slash user slash src, and I want you to look for app. So under app here, that is where you can find the main.py. Do you see that? So basically volume is like, hey, where is the app that I'm gonna run? This is where you can find init.py and main.py under app. So I said go to project, and then I want us to search for app right here. And then I believe this is the port for connection. I think this port has something to do with volumes. I'm not exactly sure, but just trust me, this is right. Anyway, so that's just kind of a brief overview of how this Docker compose.yml file works. And then we go to the Docker file. So the Docker file describes a whole lot of things. So we have to put the official base image. So actually, in this case, we're using Python 3.8 Slim Buster. And then this is the working directory. The same thing that I showed you here under volume. You have to specify the working directory. That's the directory where your app is located. So basically the folder level where main.py is located. And then basically we want to run these commands. We want to run install upgrade our pip, and then we want to make a copy of what's in requirement.txt. So if this is the working directory, right, as you can see right here, requirement.txt and Docker file is in the same folder level as this app. So we just say make a copy of that, like copy everything in this directory, in this file, and then we want you to install everything in this file. And then add app is just copy dot dot. So that's kind of a brief overview of how this Docker file is working. And that's the docker.compose.yml file. And it's very important that you get the folder levels of Docker file and Docker compose.yml file. Right. And then, so that's main.py. So main.py is where you have the main thing that connects everything and run it. And then you go under API, and here you have gaspredictions.py. So gaspprediction.py is actually where I'm doing the predictions. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to run a data science app from Docker. And I made that easier for you by just providing you with a template, and then you can just use this template to run a data science app using Docker. In the next video, well, in the upcoming video, I am going to show you how to actually build this. As you can see, right? As you can see right here in this app, where is it? In this app, right? So this actually works. This data science API is actually able to make predictions. So in the next video, I am going to show you how to actually build this app. Well, maybe not exactly in the next video. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. In the upcoming videos, I'll show you how to build a data science API like this one, and how to configure your main.py file, and how to use Fast API to build data science API for whatever you want. Oh, also I wanted to show you something real quick before I end this. So if I go to main.py, and let's change the title from evidence and data science to please subscribe to the channel. And here I'm just, as you can see right here, there's nothing. But if I go ahead and click Control Save and come back here, as you can see, the application automatically did a restart. So when I did save here, it automatically did a reload, right? And then it started the application again. Now if we go back to the website and do a refresh, as you can see, the changes we made is showing up here. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll go back and change it to the way it was. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. And once again, there's an application reload over here. They detected a change in app/main.py reloading. Finish reload. So we don't have to manually reload, and we don't have to manually reload because in our Docker compose .yml file we put to this reload command. And let's go ahead and refresh, and voila, we got our old changes back. And if you make changes right to your requirement.txt, so I don't think so, if you go to requirement.txt, this is the requirements for this app. So if you make changes to it, all right, you have to do docker compose build again. So if I go ahead and type in something like numpy and do Control Save, in order for you to be able to use numpy in your applications, like you are able to use something like pandas, you have to rebuild your Docker image. And here I'm just gonna do Control C to end this session, and then we do Docker compose build again because we added numpy to requirements.txt. As you can see, it is done, and this time it was faster than before. So this took 84.8 seconds. If we go back all the way to the first time, it took 110 seconds. So it was faster the second time because we've already installed some of the things already. So make sure you do this step when you add a new requirement to requirement.txt and to get the app up and running again. So here, right, if I reload this, it's going to throw an error because it's no longer available. So I have to go back here. If you click the up arrow on your keyboard, you'll be able to go back through your old commands. All right, and then if I go ahead and reload it, now we are back online. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell of how to launch a data science app from Docker, and a little bit about what the Docker YML and Docker file looks like and requirements. And in the next video, I'm actually going to show you how to build this data science prediction API using Fast API. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like I've said like a million times already. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. You can read this blog here on how to use Docker for data science projects. You can just go to evidencen.com/Docker for data science. You can also visit me online at machinelearningeducation.com/free, and here I have different data science resources. And once you come here, you also get weekly updates about my YouTube videos. And if you come here to the main page, machinelearningeducation.com, you can support my work however you see fit. If you come here to the main page and you don't see this because I've replaced it with something else, you can just click on this. Like the link for this is still gonna be up here, and I'm gonna put this link in the description below too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye.